Welcome to Notre and welcome to our lab, the Sakaue Lab. My name is Hirotaka Sakaue. I'm associate professor at the Department of Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering. Okay, and then I'll explain to you what we are doing. Okay, so we are challenged into interdisciplinary study, combining fluid mechanics or aerospace or something related to the flow. And the other one is chemistry, some kind of unique, but that has some kind of functional chemicals. And the cross linkage of two, that creates like two research columns. One is called luminescent imaging, and the other one is chemical flow control. That connects to like 4 signature areas. So it's more like aerospace and the green environment, and flow control, and biomedical bioengineering diagnostics. And then each one, and like those icons, are like collaborative works inside of our university or outside of our universities. Okay, and then one of my graduate students, Joe Gonzalez, will explain to you what you mean by luminescent imaging and chemical flow control using our demos.
Hi, my name is Joe Gonzalez. I'm a 5th-year graduate student working under Professor Hirotaka Sakaue. And as Taka mentioned, a lot of our work is very interdisciplinary. And so a lot of what we focus on is the use of luminescent sensors for studying flow dynamics. And what do I mean by luminescent sensors? Well, we actually see luminophores a lot in our daily life, and one example is something like this, where we've actually taken the same chemicals that are in a common everyday highlighter, and we see that by exposing them to UV light, this is just a UV lamp, we can see that bright emission. And the color and the brightness of that emission is actually a function of a variety of different properties. So if we're interested in measuring pressure, we can look at oxygen concentration or temperature and things like that. And so when we take these chemicals and we apply them to the surface of airfoils or other aerodynamic objects, we can use them to extract relevant information. So for example, this is a coating that we created by applying a luminophore onto the surface. And when we excite it with UV light, it actually becomes very sensitive to oxygen concentration, or in this case, pressure. So if we apply the flow of air over the surface, we can actually see that the brightness changes. We can actually measure that brightness, and that then allows us to extract relevant pressure information. The other side of our lab focuses on what's called chemical flow control. So instead of using chemicals in order to measure properties, we actually use chemical surfaces in order to influence flow properties. So for example, this is a super hydrophobic surface that we use for anti-icing control, for changing the flow dynamics within water. And as you can see, we can actually add droplets of water to the surface, and due to the hydrophobicity, they slide right off. So this can be very, very useful for a number of applications, and we build on and expound on these types of surfaces. Another type of surface that we've been experimenting with recently is what's called a microfiber surface. So this is a coating made of very, very fine hairs, and we can coat the surface of wings and other aerodynamic objects, and by being very careful and conscientious about the location and the size of these hairs, we can actually influence properties of aerodynamic objects like lift and drag.
Okay, so I hope you kind of understand what we're talking about for luminescent imaging and chemical flow control. We are really interested to having students who are interested in interdisciplinary study, not just like aerospace, but also like green energy, flow control, and like bioengineering stuff, and more. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us in our department, and also like myself, Hirotaka Sakaue. All right, thank you very much.